All right, so this video is all about the city of Murrieta, California and what's changing here in 2025. I had a chance to go to a city managers meeting and hear from all the city managers from all the surrounding cities, and they laid out their plans for the next 12 months. They talked about all the cool stuff that the city is putting into place, all the new projects they're working on, and then all the cool things that are coming to the city. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, California. And this video is all about the city of Murrieta, and we're going to talk about all the cool stuff that the city's working on. Like I mentioned, I had a chance to go to a city managers meeting just a couple weeks ago, and they laid out their plan over the next 12 months. They talked about all the new construction that's going on, all the new projects that they're working on, and then all the cool stuff that they're putting in place to make the city of Murrieta better. So hopefully it'll be good information for you guys. I learned a lot, and this is probably my favorite event that I go to each year, and I get a chance to hear from all the city managers, from the surrounding cities. They lay out their plans, and I think it's really helpful. So you're going to see this little series here. I think we're going to have 4 or 5 different videos, one for each city. Murrieta, I think, is the second one that you guys will see that we're putting out, and hopefully it's good information. And I think most people that live here don't even know this, and this is, again, I mean, I sell real estate for a living, right? So I pay attention to what's going on, and I always learn a ton and learn about all these things that the average Joe here in Murrieta does not know. So hopefully it's good information. But before I get into all the info though, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. Obviously it helps me, it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. You're going to see my information either down below the video or at the end. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, or you can email me. That is my cell phone. And of course, I'd love to answer any questions, or if myself and my team can help you out with your real estate search, I would love to help you and love to be a resource for you. So cool. All right, so we're going to talk about the city of Murrieta. The first thing that they talked about was like the recent stats. So this is the newest updated stats for the city of Murrieta. I think it's kind of cool, and it's good information for me to know as far as how the demographics have changed, how the population has changed, and kind of what has been going on with the city. So current stats for Murrieta, the population has grown. There's now a current population of 121,000 people. The average age to the Murrieta resident is 38 years old. The average household income has gone up quite a bit over the last handful of years. It's now up to $139,000 is your average household income. I think just a few years ago it was like right at 100, so that's a pretty big jump up. And I guess that is probably just the nature of how things are as the houses have gotten so much more expensive, as just inflation, everything in the world is much more expensive. In order to be able to afford living in this area, your income's gonna have to go up. But I was a little surprised about how high that is and how much that has gone up over the last few years. 39% of households have children under the age of 18. And probably what I think was the most surprising stat that they rattled out, but 55% of the workforce has a commute of less than 29 minutes. So right, I make a lot of videos talking about location and where people live and how that affects their commute. A lot of people commute out of the area to San Diego, LA, Orange County, and most of those commutes that I'm referring to are really 45 minutes to an hour plus. But it is good to know that 55% actually commute less than 30 minutes. So that's a pretty cool thing. And something I was surprised to know. And the average household size now is 3.27 people in each household. All right, so then the next thing that they talked about was all the new coming soon projects and things and businesses that they have coming to the city. So this I thought was a lot of good information. So the first thing they mentioned was the Murrieta Innovation Center. And this is something they've actually been talking about over the last few years, but there is a Murrieta Innovation Center here in the city of Murrieta that's actually been built for a handful of years, but they are adding on and constructing a wet lab, and they're doing some updates to some of the existing offices that are already there. So The wet lab is more for like some different technology companies and things like that. And I think you have to apply to be able to get a space there, but kind of a cool thing, and that they're hoping that's going to help create new entrepreneurs, new businesses, and new companies that we would be able to utilize the wet lab. So they also mentioned there's a new Better Buzz that is coming to Murrieta. There's a new Juan's Global Eatery, so it's a big restaurant that'll be located right off Calmia, right off the freeway. It'll take over where the steakhouse used to be. There's a new car dealership that they're working on bringing to the city of Murrieta. I assume it'll go in the auto mall that's already in Murrieta, so I don't know if they're building a new one or if they're replacing one of the current companies that are there. But they have also just a handful of projects the city itself is working on as well. There's a parking lot and monument project that they're doing. There's a slurry seal project that they're continuing to work on. And then they made known like their stat and kind of what their goal is. So City of Murrieta, they say that they are planning to re-slurry all their streets every 4 years. So they kind of rotate them each year. So I thought that was kind of cool. I would not, it's something that drives around on the streets all the time. I was surprised to know that they do it that often. It seems like it's less often than that, but it's hard to expect anything more. So I think that's kind of a cool thing to know. They also said there's 4 to 9 new tot lots that are currently being constructed. I think they're all under construction. It's just a matter of how many are actually going to open this year. So they said 4 to 9. The city is also working on an expansion to the library, so the Murrieta Public Library. They are also working to install a handful of pickleball courts. So those will be free pickleball courts that are provided by the city. And at Glen Arbor Park, they are also going to be installing or creating, I don't know the right word, but they are adding on a dog park at Glen Arbor Park. So those are kind of some cool projects that the city is putting on. Some of those are obviously private businesses. Some of them are put on by the city, but kind of cool to know they have some things that they're working on and trying to make the area better and better. So the next section that they wanted to talk about were the new shopping centers that are coming to Murrieta. And this one, there was only one, but it is a big one. So I think in years past, there's been like several different shopping centers that they're able to talk about. But in this case, the only thing that they talked about was the Triangle. So I don't know if you guys know anything about Murrieta, if you've lived here for any amount of time, then you've probably heard the term of the Triangle before. Basically what it is, it's a big commercial space right between the 15 and the 215 area, right where the two freeways are. And that area, along with Murrieta Hot Springs, creates the top of the Triangle. And that's what they call the Triangle. So the area has been discussed many a times over the last like 20 years for all types of different projects. Supposed to be high-end restaurants at one point. It was supposed to be some other type of retail centers. At one point there was rumors of an NFL football stadium that was going to be there that were in talks. There's been all these different things that they've discussed, including a couple years ago, like 6 fast food franchises. So it seems like we've kind of come full circle, supposedly. Well, what they said is that there has now been a new plan that has now officially been approved, which has never happened before. And the plan for the Triangle has now been laid out, and it's supposed to be a big, huge retail center and kind of a mixed use area. So there's going to be from high-end restaurants to like an entertainment venue to shopping to stores, and then some other just kind of general lifestyle use spaces. So it's supposed to be a big thing. They're really excited about it. It's supposed to be geared a little bit more high end, and they said there would be more details coming either end of this year or early next year. So it sounds like sometime over the next year or two you can start seeing construction start. But it'll be kind of cool if they can finally get that project going and get something installed, because it is a great big area. It's like right between 2 freeways. It would be really cool to have something nice, especially like a nicer restaurant or multiple restaurants would be pretty cool to be able to have in place there. So the next thing that they talked about was about public safety and as it relates to the city of Murrieta. They did take a mention to kind of brag that we're the only city in the region that has their own fire department, police department, and communication center. So I think that's like a dispatch center. So rather than most of the other cities will contract out, like say with the Riverside County, and they subcontract and do things like that. But City Murrieta is the only one that has their own fire station, police station, and police force, and actual communication center. So they're pretty proud about that. And they did also mention that, yet again, Murrieta has been ranked as one of the safest cities. They just mentioned that it's on the safest cities list. They didn't give out the specific ranking this year, so I'm not sure exactly where they fell, but yet again, and that's what this area is really known for. You know, Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee now too, they're consistently one of the safest cities in California and really throughout the country. So Murrieta is on that list yet again. And they did mention something that actually is real positive for me as a real estate agent, is the city has now been given a designation because of their speed, how efficient their firefighters are, their fire department is, that they've been given a fire risk reduction designation that applies for the whole city. So what that should do is lower the residents of Murrieta's insurance rates, homeowners insurance rates, because the city has this special designation. So that's a cool thing for me, especially, you know, when obviously I'm helping people buy and sell homes, and when they go to buy homes, they have to get homeowners insurance, and those homeowners insurance costs in all of California have gone up so much over the last few years. I think it's really throughout most of the country, but especially here, you know, in Southern California, you know, we are affected by fires in the area, etc. To have that special designation and make anything more affordable is going to be a big plus for sure. Then they did also talk about 3 new infrastructure projects that they're working on and that are coming soon. So they talked in general about their general improvement plan. They said there's a total of $110 million in improvement projects that are currently in the works. The 2 biggest that they mentioned was the Murrieta Hot Springs widening. So if you guys are familiar with the area, Murrieta Hot Springs is a main road. It's an exit off the 15 freeway and the 215 freeway, and it's a very, very long road. And at some points that's pretty narrow. I think it gets down to 2 lanes on each side. So now they are widening from 4 lanes, that would be, so 2 and 2, 4 to 6 lanes on the areas that are more narrow. So they're going to add a lane in each direction, so which is heavily needed because that road gets super congested. So that's a big plus. I mean, I drive the road all the time, so it's definitely a big plus for me. And they are also adding a turn pocket, so like a little turning lane at the corner of Murrieta Hot Springs and Alta Murrieta. So I think that's right next to the 215 freeway, right next to the shopping center where Sam's Club is. So that gets pretty congested. So that'll definitely be a good thing as well. It's good to know there's a couple things that they're working on. And then last thing that they mentioned, which directly applies to me, is the housing. So there's a bunch of new housing units that are currently under construction and slated to be starting construction soon. So there's a total of 2,000 pending units. There's a total of 4,700 entitled units. So those are lots that have been approved and entitled and are set, ready to go. And there's just under 2,000 that are under construction. So a whole total of 1,956. So kind of cool to know that there's still so much construction still going on. I do know that a good chunk of those that are currently under construction are going to be are more like apartments. They're not actually houses, so apartments and rental units. So there are definitely some homes and actually even condos and townhomes that are going to be for sale, but there's a good amount of those that are under construction that are apartments as well. So kind of get a little bit of a mix of everything. Of course, everyone has different opinions on that, but that's what's happening for now. So anyways, hopefully that's good information for you guys. We'll keep this series going. I think we're gonna do the city of Menifee next, and so you guys can stay tuned for that. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.